Okay, I have a quick update, maybe not that quick, but an important update about the ADU construction process. It's not necessarily a good one, it's actually a bad update. Um, there was a mistake on the plans. Basically, the structural engineer messed up. He did not see that on the architectural plans, our ADU was gonna have vaulted ceilings, basically high ceiling. So he built his structural plans and structural details and schedule based on the ceiling being an 8-footer with an attic. It's not the case. So our contract discovered it when they were gonna start the process of, building the roof. So I'll show you later, but now we have all the walls. So all the studs are in, the windows are in, meaning the window shape or the windows enclosure. They're all in and in place. And we were gonna set up the beam, the ridge beam that goes from there all the way there. Unfortunately, so when you have a high ceiling, you need just one beam, one piece, a big one, and that goes from the tip of the A shape right there, to the other end, okay, in one piece. So when we ordered the material, when the contractor ordered the material, the lumber, the ridge beam came in two pieces. So we thought that the supplier made a mistake, but long story short, after talking to them and looking at the plans again and in details, we discovered that's what the plans were calling for. They were calling for two pieces beam. Well, that doesn't work for a high ceiling structure. So we talked to on Friday, my contractor talked to the architect and to the structural engineer, and of course they were denying it in the beginning, and then boom, it hit him, and he's like, I did not see it on the plan. He did not see that we were building a high ceiling ADU. So now he has to fix it, he has to make changes. And basically when you have such a long beam, ridge beam, going from one side to the other, it's about 25 feet, by the way, you gotta build something in the middle here that goes up from the ground up. It's called pure pad, and on which there is a big post, or vertical beam, if you want to call it that way, a big post that will hold the beam in the center of the beam, because now we have the weak point is gonna be in the middle, and I'm gonna go this way so you can see the whole house. So the weak point is gonna be in the middle of the structure, so where I'm gonna stand now. And to reinforce that weak point, you have to put that vertical post. So that's one way of doing it. But as I talked to different people with experience, we were thinking, why not reinforce the posts and put more 2x4s, or maybe a bigger post here that supports the ends on which the ridge beam is gonna sit on, and we wouldn't need anything in the middle. So we wouldn't need anything that comes here, because now we would have to dig a 2x2 here in the middle of the foundation, okay, and go all the way inside, beyond the foundation, beyond the concrete, and dig in the dirt, in the soil, take out the dirt, and pour again. And of course, it's not ideal when you have already built your foundation to dig it and do all that vibration and all that, and you have the rebars. Are you gonna cut them? Ideally you should keep them and maybe drill some holes inside the area that you're not gonna touch, of the area of the concrete that you're not gonna touch, and then from there you add more, you run a rebar that goes basically inside the foundation that's not gonna be dug out, and then goes through the new hole that you're doing, and it goes to the other side of the foundation that's not gonna be taken out. So it's a lot, and it's not ideal, like I said. At least in my mind, it's not ideal. So I'm gonna try to have a conference call with the contractor and his project manager, and I'm gonna suggest this idea, see what they think about it. I think it's more cost effective. So bottom line, be very careful when you choose your architect. This is not the first mistake they made. I discovered another mistake before we started construction, thankfully, because we wanted to go all electric, so we don't have to manage so we have to manage only one electric meter, and I didn't want to run gas. It saves money and less headache, because now I don't have to manage 2 meters, one for the gas and one for the electricity. The water is going to be a shared meter, so that's not in question, and it's faster. Okay, so they set up everything to be electric except for the water heater. They put it as a gas water heater, and I was able to see that on my own in the plans. But again, the structural stuff, I do not understand it. I haven't even tried to read it. Maybe I can understand it, but I didn't put the effort, and that's probably my mistake. But make sure, if you're familiar and comfortable with construction plans and architectural, structural plans, you read it carefully and you check the structural plans against the architectural plans. See if they all make sense, if they are basically building the same thing, building the same story. If not, try to run that by your contractor before they start building. Okay, so now we're gonna have to stop in the middle of the process. We were going fast, it was nice, I was very happy. Now we're gonna have to stop for minimum 2 weeks, because the structural engineer has to redo his calculation, and we have to resubmit to the city. Thanksgiving is next week, and it's gonna take some time. City people are gonna be closed, I think, for at least 2 days next week. Hopefully we can get it in before Thanksgiving, but then they might have to run it by the planning department. If this is an over-the-counter approval process, we will be okay. Next week or the following, we will resume construction, and that's not a big deal, okay? Except for the money loss, which I'll talk about it later. But if they need to run it by the planning department for like full approval, then it's gonna take a long time. My city is really quick. They have a response time when you're not submitting something for the first time. Okay, when you're submitting something for the ADU, they get back to you within 60 days. But for every comments and every corrections after that, they respond to you within 10 business days. Now their business weeks have only 4 business days in them, not 5, so that makes it like 2 weeks and a half, kinda. But it's still quick. So I'm hoping that they would get back to us within 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. And then we resume construction. We work on whatever changes we have to make. It really sucks, but you have, like I mentioned it actually in my previous video, maybe I jinxed it. I said that I talked about the first change order that we had to do for plumbing. And I said, I am certain this is not going to be the only one. And here we go. So now we have a bigger problem. But to answer, go back to a comment I mentioned earlier about the cost. This is fully the responsibility of the architectural team, the architectural company, and the structural engineer. I haven't discussed any of this with them yet, but they have to pay for it, and I'm gonna move on and start paying, but then I'm gonna submit a claim. Hopefully they're reasonable and we don't have to make things harder than they are, and go to court or whatever and get lawyers involved. But if need be, I will do it, because this is not the first mistake they made. And I paid them a lot. I paid them more than the market going rate in Southern California, at least for ADUs. And they didn't really, it's just very disappointing. Okay, so now let's go to the positive side. And you guys can see me smile because I really love this. I love how it looks already. Okay, so over there, that's the kitchen window. So it's gonna be above the sink. This is the front door. This is the entrance, okay? It's gonna be a beautiful door. We already chose it. And here, the kitchen window, and the sink is gonna be here. So when you're washing this is very important. You're washing you spend a lot of time on the sink, right? After dinner, or after lunch. So when you're washing your dishes, you wanna be looking at something nice. And this is the view. You're gonna see all this greenery, super nice, super cool. And then the kitchen will be here. I think I talked about it in the past. And then here's gonna be the bedroom. And the bedroom is gonna have a window, a very large window. We did this on purpose. We wanna have a lot of light. ADUs are small, so this is a pro tip. ADUs are small. You gotta make them feel like they're big. And to make an ADU, a small space, feel big and roomy, you need to have high ceiling, but that's why we had this problem. High ceiling, like vaulted ceiling, and you need to have a lot of light. If you need to add a skylight, go for it and add it. We didn't need to because we have a lot of windows and we were able to make it happen and meet the Title 24 requirements, or 24, for the environmental stuff and the energy efficiency. It might be something specific to California. Okay, so that's the big window for the bedroom. And then here we have 2 windows for the living room. Okay, same size, both are nice. And here, the living room again, huge window, really big. I don't know if you can tell, but it's really big window. So 3 windows in the living room. It will be well lit, natural light, very important to have natural light. And then, look at your entrance. You come from this greenery, and of course we're gonna take care of the landscape over there, but you have this big tree. It hides the noise from the street. It also hides, this is the west, so it hides the summertime, it hides the sun, and it makes it cooler during peak sunlight. South, no windows, which it's by design. Another pro tip. Okay, so we're living in this house. This is our backyard. We planned and designed everything so there are no windows on our backyard, opening on our backyard for privacy, and no windows on this side of the house too, because it's still part of our backyard. All the windows are either facing the fence. They are actually just facing the fences. Fences there, fences here, because we live in it. Okay, and we're gonna at the same time work on our backyard, and we have already started the design process. So hopefully when the ADU is finished, the backyard is also finished, and we can enjoy all of it at once. All right, so that was my update. Negative update, but also some positive updates. I see a lot of improvement. We were moving really fast. Let me see if I can squeeze in. And then this happened. It's so unfortunate. And by the way, we had some rain, very little rain, first rain of the season, so that's why we covered all our lumber to protect it, and so it doesn't have any mold and lose more money. Okay, so here we go. That's how it looks like. That's the front door, the entrance right there, and that's the living room, the big living room window, and this is the kitchen window. All right, if you like these updates, please subscribe, like, comment, share with people so they don't fall, they don't go through the problem that I had, and they are more proactive and run their plans by either some expert or by them if they know what they're looking for. Okay, so comment below if you have questions, and thank you again. Bye now.